What's up, everybody? True Boxing here. Thank you for coming back to get hit with the truth. So today we are wrapping up my 2022 year-end top 10s at 140 pounds junior welterweight, as I'm going to look at my number one junior welterweight in the world, and then I'm going to give the state of the 140 pound junior welterweight division. The number one fighter repeats, and that is the undefeated and reigning WBO junior welterweight champion, Josh Taylor. Actually, I think this might be his fourth consecutive year that he's coming in as the number one fighter in the division. Taylor, ever since he beat Regis Prograis in the finals of the World Boxing Super Series, has been rolling. He was the man in 2020 because of, but COVID was hit. He had a stop through one, body shot knockout win in a mandatory defense, but then he got Jose Ramirez in 2021 and left no doubt, dominating Ramirez. In my opinion, he didn't dominate, but he almost knocked Ramirez out and won it clean, even though it was a little closer than expected, or than it should have been, but decision over Ramirez, as he became the undisputed junior welterweight champ. Well, he came into the year highly confident. He had plans of moving up to 147. They were talking about him and potentially Terrence Bud Crawford. And then he made a WBO mandatory defense, defended all four of his belts, though, against undefeated Jack Catterall in pretty much a domestic rivalry, domestic fight, which always make good money for those guys from the UK. And he almost lost everything, and he probably should have, as Jack Catterall really put it on him. He fought hard and closed the fight strong, but he got knocked down in the fight, and most people feel Catterall should have got the upset victory and became the undisputed champ. Taylor was granted the controversial split decision win, and still afterwards was planning to move to 140 pounds. Or at least, he was planning to move to 140, and then 147, then he decided to change plans and to stay there because he got so much shit in the UK for his performance against Catterall that that he decided that he would hold on to his belts, and he would give up a couple. He gave up the WBA and IBF, and he was gonna fight Jose Cepeda before the end of the year was up. But then he decided he wanted to just go straight into the rematch with Catterall, so he gave up the WBC belt too, only holding on to the WBO title. And he and Catterall were supposed to fight for the end of the year. That fight never came to fruition for whatever reason. They are still set to fight though, and I believe they're gonna collide on March 3rd or in March of 2023 in a rematch. And I personally feel that Josh Taylor has a lot of options staying at 140. I think he's going to beat Catterall first off in the rematch. I think he'll beat him convincingly. I absolutely think he was overlooking him the first time, and I don't think he's going to do that in a rematch. I think he'll beat him and leave no doubt. Now, let's look at his stats real quick. Taylor is 31 years old. Overall, he's 19-0 with 13 knockouts. And all this talk of moving to 147, I think unless he's struggling to make the weight, I think he should be staying right here at 140 because there's much more fights here at 140 pounds. Particularly, he's gonna fight Catterall and clear that one up. And then I think by the summertime, maybe the fall, he could be staring at a showdown with Teofimo Lopez right in the face, as long as Lopez wants to take the fight. And then there's other options there. There's, Arnold Barbosa and Jose Pedraza are fighting. You got Jose Ramirez and Richard Comey are fighting. And then again, you have that fight right there. And then a potential rematch with Regis Prograis. He has a lot of good options here at 140 pounds that he'll make better money with if he stays here. 147, there's really no big name top ranked fighter at 147 pounds right now. And I think that would just be a mistake for him to move up and fight anybody or fight at 147. It just would be a mistake unless he just wants to start the groundwork for when the division opens up a little bit. But why not just stay stay here and at least fight Teofimo Lopez. Stay here one more year and fight Lopez, because I'll tell you right now, with the way Lopez has looked at 140, Taylor, as long as he looks good against Catterall, which I think he will, I think Taylor will be the favorite going into that fight. So we'll see what happens. I personally think that's what he's going to do. I think he'll stay here, and I think he's going to beat Catterall, and I think he'll stay here and look to see what his options are in the second half of the year. And I would not be surprised at all if he gets Teofimo Lopez in the ring in 2023. So that's it. That's what I got on Josh Taylor. Now, the state of the 140-pound division. 140 has exploded. You know, this is a division that was kind of a stop-through division between lightweight and welterweight. It is so not that heading into this year. This division is very deep in terms of talent. There was guys that had solid years, are good fighters, good resumes, that missed the top 10. And, you know, there's just some good fights on the horizon. And it's another division where I don't think you're going to have a stalemate of champions fighting scrubs because their promotions won't allow them to fight. You know, you have Top Rank. They own the WBO belt with Taylor right now. If, you know, Taylor's fighting Catterall, and then, you know, you also have Teofimo Lopez there. Ramirez might be fighting Richard Comey. Arnold Barbosa and Jose Pedraza are going to be fighting each other in big fights. You know, those are big time fights right there. Then you have the PBC and Regis Prograis, who will work with the PBC, but you also have Alberto Puello, who's the WBA champion. Then you got the winner of Sujero Martinez and Jeremias Ponce is a big one right there too. So you just have some, you know, I mean, they're fighting and they have ties with the PBC. So there's just so many good options. And then even DAZN, you know, is willing to, you know, has like guys like Sandor Martin and Ryan Garcia there and stuff. And, you know, and that's what I'm saying. This division is just deep. These guys are going to have good options to keep themselves busy instead of waiting around and saying they're being avoided. And it's, in my opinion, it's going to be a very good year for the 140-pound weight class. Even if nobody unifies belts, it's going to be a good year. You're going to have some very good matchups. I really hope Josh Taylor is smart and fights and stays here and fights, you know, potentially Teofimo Lopez. I hope Lopez is smart. Maybe gets Kambosos in the ring in a rematch to get some confidence, so he is geared up for a showdown with Taylor. I hope Ramirez is pumped up after he's being criticized for ducking Prograis, and he goes in, you know, against Comey, locks that fight up. Barbosa and Pedraza, I could see that one going either way. You know, Gary Russell and Alberto Puello, Matias and Ponce. There's just some good ass fights that are going to happen at 130. And then I'm not even mentioning guys like Akhmadov, who's there, Sergey Lipinets. I mean, this is a and Sandor Martin. This is a very good division. It really is. And there's going to be some good ass matchups at 140. So pay attention. This has become quickly, within a year, one of the best divisions in boxing. I would put it in right around top 5, top 6, 7 area. Very good division. Make sure you pay attention to the fights that take place at 140 this year. So that's what I got. That's my number one junior welterweight in the world right now at 140. The reigning WBO champion, former undisputed champion, Josh Taylor. And that's the state of the 140-pound junior welterweight division. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, smash the like button, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate any and all support. This is True Boxing. You've been hit with the truth.